Booktubeathon 2018 is finally here. It is Monday. The Booktubeathon started last night at midnight. I was not trying to start reading a book at midnight. So it's Monday morning and I'm about to start reading The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. This is the book that won the coin toss, so it's the book that I'm supposed to read first in order to meet the challenge. I also plan to do the Instagram and video challenges today, as well as edit my video for the hashtag 7 in 7 readathon that ended last night. So today's gonna be a busy day of booktube stuff. And today's video challenge is to recreate a book cover using things around the house. That's it, guys. The Handmaid's Tale. Day one of Booktubeathon is almost over. I posted a submission for Instagram and video challenges, and now I'm on to the reading challenge. I'd love to be able to finish a book a day, but it's unlikely that I'll finish this tonight because it is over 300 pages of dystopic futuristic fiction that you could see happening, and so I think I might need to read this a little bit more slowly. Almost midday and I'm just leaving the house. I've been home all morning taking phone calls, some of which I don't know if they're urgent. I'm one of those people who, when the phone rings, I'm wondering, why are you calling me? Why don't you just text me? I'm heading now to the Starbucks. I have some writing and some editing to do, and then I have a student to tutor at 4 o'clock and another one at 7. So I have a busy afternoon, just trying to get a little bit of my time, my work, my priorities done before I start helping other people. Well, I guess in the middle of helping other people, but listen, it's what I love. This is my purpose, and I'm sweating. Whew, it's pretty warm today.
Is this one of those edible stores?
Depends on how hungry you are. I just posted my submission for the day 2's video challenge, and now I'm gonna get back to reading because it's the end of day 2 and I'm still reading the first book of the readathon. There's almost no way that I can get back to the reading schedule if I let the first book take me into day 3. So I'm gonna stay up tonight and read this book. The readathon isn't going well. It's Wednesday morning, which means it's day 3 of the Booktubeathon, and I'm still reading The Handmaid's Tale. I fell asleep last night. I planned to stay up and finish this book, and I didn't. I still have about another 100 pages to go, so I have to start with some work. I have to start with work, and then read this as well as 2 other books today. I finished reading The Handmaid's Tale. The title is linked to the biblical story of Rachel and Jacob, where Rachel is not able to have children at first, and so she gives her handmaid to her husband and says, "Have children with me through her." And so in this book, the handmaids are the women that have been selected from the society, women who are being punished for one reason or another, usually because they have had an adulterous relationship, then given to these affluent families so that the man can sleep with these women and bear children with his wife through the handmaid. I think I'm giving this 5 stars, and I'm ready to move on to a hopefully happier story. I'm moving on to Rancher's Dream by B.J. Daniels. This is a part of a series called the Montana Cahills, so I'm gonna read this. So I finished 1 book from my TBR and I've already gone rogue. I'm at page 222. This is the kind of book where you get exactly what you're hoping for. If you're looking for a little romance, a little forbidden romance is definitely here. I'm not a big fan or supporter of adulterous romances, but I'm feeling like the author isn't either, and so that's just probably one of those red herrings. I'm done, and I mean, I read an almost 400-page book in a couple of hours, so this didn't meet any challenges, except I probably should have worn a hat while I was reading it. Then at least I'd be able to cross that one off, but I didn't, so next time. Now we're on to something else. I don't know what I'm gonna read next. It's day 3 of Booktubeathon, and so far I haven't really been winning. I've only completed 2 books. That means that today, day 3, I need to finish a 3rd book. I don't think that I'm gonna finish a 3rd book today. I don't see that happening. Anyway, I'm here to do the video challenge, which today is through Book Dominoes. For today's Instagram challenge, I did the cover of Pippi Longstocking. I'm also reading The Paris Bookshop by Nina George. It's almost 400 pages, but I've read so much today that if I could complete 50 pages, I'd be good for the day. Just as a status update, these are the 7 books that were on my TBR for Booktubeathon, and so far I've read this one. The Handmaid's Tale was my coin toss book, so I've read that and I completed that challenge. I read another book which was not on my TBR, and technically this satisfies green on the cover, so I could use this to substitute, which would mean that I don't need this book. I want to read this. This is my hat book, but I want to read this in the park. I want to take this to the park maybe tomorrow if the weather is nice and just read it in one sitting. This is the book that meets the challenge of something you want to do. So this is my book for today, and maybe if I get a little time to finish up, I could read maybe like a half of this one, because this is nonfiction, so I could read this anytime. So we're gonna say that these are my plans for today's reading. Today's video challenge is to make a bookshelf out of books, which means I'm gonna start building again. I need to make a bookshelf out of books and actually put books inside. So I also did today's Instagram challenge, which was to take a picture of yourself with one of your book collections, and one of the collections that I started recently was the Man Booker winners. So these are the Man Booker winners that I own, plus all of these that I have out from the library. Yesterday was just such a busy day. I got home around 10 o'clock by the time I got something to eat and got back to this book. It was so late. As you could probably guess, I fell asleep. So the plan this morning is to finish this book before I go anywhere, before I do anything. I don't have that much to do other than reading today. So that's not true. That's not true at all. I have a lot to do, but my priority is to finish these books. Right now, this is book 3. Today is day 5, and I have challenges to do. I have videos to make. So I'm doing this. I'm doing this today. This book is an ode to literature. John tells me about a book that he's read, wants to read, or wants me to read. He calls books freedoms and homes too. They preserve all the good words that we so seldom use. I feel that about books. I don't like books with adulterous relationships in them, and I find it hard to support a relationship and get excited about a relationship that I don't think should be, because I keep thinking about the other person who's being hurt. So I'm not sure yet how I feel about this book. I'm waiting to see how the resolution justifies what I'm reading right now. But I'm 200 pages in. I'm taking a break because I need to go get my hair done. So as you can see, I haven't done my hair yet. I decided to finish this book first. And all these philandering characters are really annoying me. I am still enjoying the bookish references, so I guess I'll have to wait until the end to see which way the balance gets tipped. So am I more annoyed at the infidelity or more in love with the literary references? I finished the book, but I'll tell you about it when I've done my hair, because I can't make any more videos with my hair looking like this. I'm halfway done. So the new hairstyle is here. Well, it's not a new hairstyle. I have braids all the time. But when you saw me this morning, I did not have this hairstyle. Now I do. I just stopped by the bookstore and bought a book. I could show it to you. I bought a book for my friend who I'm working with this summer, the middle schooler who I'm reading, or who I was reading A Little History of the United States with. I finished reading it. He's still struggling. He's not a huge reader. He's just not a fan of reading. And I think that's because he doesn't come from a family of readers. And a lot of what he reads, he doesn't really have anyone to discuss it with. This is James Patterson with Chris Gravenstein, the nerdiest, wimpiest, dorkiest, funny ever. The main character is a kid in a wheelchair, and I think my friend will appreciate it. So I'm gonna read it first before I give it to him. It's not in my reading plans. It's definitely not on my TBR, but I'm planning to read it in one sitting so I can give it to him. So that's the plan for this evening. That's the reading plan anyway. I'm heading to Starbucks, I think. I get some reading done there. I left Starbucks because the sun is going down, and you know I keep the Sabbath, so I need to be home to do some stuff tonight. I need to be home before sunset to do the things for tonight. I've been invited to a family thing tomorrow. One of my little cousins is going away to college. He's leaving on Monday. So they're having family dinner for him, well, in his honor, tomorrow. And I'm gonna make some saltfish fritters, I think. And today's video challenge is to create an outfit that is inspired by a book. And I read this book earlier this year. It was written by a Jamaican author. It's the first Jamaican author to have won the illustrious Man Booker Prize. I'm also using the outfit to participate in today's Instagram challenge, which is to take a picture where the background matches the book cover. It is day 6 of Booktubeathon. The Instagram challenge is to take a picture of 3 books. 2 you've read and 1 you haven't. Today's video challenge is to make a poem using book spines, but all the book spines have to be the same color. Here's the poem, and it's kind of an ode to America, which contrasts with my video yesterday, which had to do with Jamaica. Boy, snow, bird. It's complicated. Things bright and beautiful, here and gone. The heart's invisible furies. The road, 1,000 splendid suns. The corpse exhibition. The divine comedy. We are all completely beside ourselves. We're in America now, baby. It's Sunday morning. I didn't do much updating yesterday. I also didn't do that much reading. I spent the afternoon with my family. I edited and posted my video for the challenge, and then I just kind of fell into bed, man. I'd planned to read The Circle and watch the movie. What was I thinking? I still need to read the book while wearing the hat. I need to read a book with green on the cover and something else. So today I'm also going to go visit someone in the hospital. That's the plan. And I'm going to a funeral in the evening. So at some point today, I'm going to be wearing a hat for a really long time and reading a book. I'm reading the book with the hat. I'm 50 pages into Things Bright and Beautiful, and this story is about a missionary couple, Max and Beatrice. They're on a missionary trip in the Pacific Islands, and their relationship is not so great. They sleep in separate rooms. So they've been installed in this house called the Mission House, and they've kind of taken over the 2 rooms of this house when suddenly the previous missionary returns. And today's challenge is just to make a video talking about your favorite book. Yeah, this book was terrible. I finished and I'm still not sure what this book is about. And after almost 280 pages of reading, I didn't like this book any more than I did at the beginning. And so hats off, and moving on to the next and final read of Booktubeathon. It's Sunday evening and I just got home from a funeral, and now I need to just manage my expectations for the rest of the readathon. I have a few hours left to go. I'm not going to be able to read the entire novel, The Circle, plus watch the movie adaptation. So I'm just going to focus on reading this book, Freshwater by Akwaeke Emezi. I'm at the place where I kind of want to start skimming because I'm not sure how much more time I really want to invest in this story. The book is definitely weird, but I knew what to expect. I saw the author give a talk, and I wanted to read it for curiosity's sake, but I'm not loving it. I have 130 pages and about an hour and a half left for the end of Booktubeathon. I'm finished with Freshwater. I didn't love the fact that some of it felt like a little bit of a put on to explain emotional and physical and sexual abuse that this character suffered as a child. And so I'm giving it 3 stars because while I can appreciate the quality of the writing in certain places, man, I didn't love this story. But it's finished, and so is Readathon. Booktubeathon 2018 is now over. And I didn't meet all the challenges, but I did read 6 books in 7 days for a total of almost 1,900 pages. I did meet the challenge for the coin toss. Read a book about something that you want to do. I read The Little Paris Bookshop. I didn't read The Circle because I knew I didn't have time to watch the movie as well. So that's a fail. Read a book with green on the cover. Read a book while wearing the same hat the whole time that I did that. Read a book with a beautiful spine. Read 7 books I didn't meet, but the other books that I read during the week were Rancher's Dream, The Nerdiest, Wimpiest, Dorkiest, I Funny Ever by James Patterson, as well as Freshwater. So 6 books, 2, 4, 6 books in 7 days. I cheated a little bit. I went a little bit past the official Booktubeathon time, so don't hold that against me. Don't give me too much props, but I did read 6 books in 7-ish days. So Booktubeathon 2018 is over. We're looking forward now to the next readathon, which is coming up, I think, next week. Book Swapathon. So I'm going to move on and start planning my TBR for that. So thanks for watching. I loved participating. I loved connecting with you guys. And so we'll talk in the comments. And until next time, happy reading. Bye.